Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Lee, and this is our first video in Math 2413, our Calculus 1. We're going to be starting with some algebra review, particularly some skills that are important relatively quickly as we move into the course. I will not be assigning any homework for this review material. It's really primarily to get your brain going a little bit. Additionally, the quiz over this section, I'll be giving everyone a 100 because the goal is really to get you used to the format that you will be submitting your quizzes in, getting used to, attaching files in Canvas so that we can kind of work out the kinks. Now that we've gone over that, let's go ahead and get started with our algebra review. We're going to start with calculating the slope between 2 points. A big part of calculus ends up being how we find slope of different kinds of functions. So we're just going to start with linears because the rest of it will require calculus in some way. So as a reminder, the formula for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and it doesn't matter which x and y value you make x1 y1 and x2 y2. The only thing that's important is that you make sure that x2 and y2 come from the same coordinate and x1 and y1 come from the same coordinate as well. For me, I'm just going to do one of these and I will leave one of these for you to do. I'm going to go ahead and do A. So find the slope of the line that connects the following set of points. We're connecting the points 4, 6, and 1, 0. I just have a general rule of thumb of letting the first point be x1, y1, and the second point be x2, y2. And if I use the slope formula, my y2 is 0 minus y1 of 6 over x2, which is 1, minus x1, which is 4. And we get 0 minus 6 over 1 minus 4, which is negative 6, divided by negative 3, which is 2. So our slope in this case is 2. Now you've probably done that before, but again, we need to get our brains going a little bit. Chances are, even if you just finished pre-cal in the previous semester, it's at least been a few weeks of not doing any math, and chances are, like I said, over any of your breaks, math was not high on your priority list to keep practicing, so I want to get your brain going a little bit before we get on to new material. In addition to finding the slope between 2 points, you can do B yourself. We also need to be able to sketch lines or have an idea of how to sketch linear graphs. You have a few options here. Technically speaking, to graph a line, you only really need to plot 2 points, but I want to go ahead and get us into y equals mx plus b form because that is the form that the students are the most comfortable with. So we'll start here with this 3x plus 4y equals 8, and we'll graph it to the right. To get it into y equals mx plus b form, we will move the 3x to the other side by subtracting. So we will have 4y equals negative 3x plus 8. From here, to get y by itself, we will divide by 4. And remember, that means everything is divided by 4. So we get y equals negative 3/4 x plus 8 over 4 reduces to 2. Now from here, we have our slope and we have our intercept, our b. So it tells us how to basically graph our line, or the way that we're choosing to do it in this case. We will start at the point 0, 2, which is our intercept. And we will use our slope as a rise over run. So a negative 3 over 4 really means up negative 3 and to the right 4. But going up negative 3 really means down 3 and right 4. Alternatively, of course, we could attribute the negative to the denominator, in which case we would be going up 3 and to the left 4. But either way, it will give us our line. So we go down 3 over 4, get a point, and you can continue to go down 3 and over 4 to get more points, but realistically, you only need 2 points to graph a line. I'll go ahead and do one on this side as well. You graph the line, and because the line goes on forever, we draw our arrows at the end to represent that. Now I do want to look at B in this one just to talk about how we take a point in a slope and we turn it into an equation of a line. I will leave the graphing to you. So here we go to the next. So we've got point 0.03 and slope 1/2. Now for graphing purposes, that means you can just plot the point and use the slope to find more points, but I do want to remind you how to find the equation of a line if you've got a point and a slope. Most of you are traditionally used to y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, and you definitely can do that, but remember that we also can use y equals mx plus b since we know m, and we have a coordinate point, which is our xy. Both of these will lead us to the same equation. So I'm going to start with y equals mx plus b. I know my m is 1/2, my x value is 0, my y value is 3. Now in this case, because the point we were given is already an intercept, that may not be necessary, but that won't always be the case. So here we get 3 equals 1/2 times 0 plus b, which really just simplifies to 3 equals b. So we get the equation of the line y equals mx plus b. We have m, we have b. So this gives us the line y equals 1/2 x plus 3. And from there, you can go ahead and graph it if you would like. Now, other types of functions you may encounter, piecewise functions. As a reminder, a piecewise function is still a function, but it can be defined by different equations over different portions of the domain. And it could be continuous at the boundary points, or it could not be. There could be a jump. For first, we are just going to practice evaluating a few values, and I will leave some of them for you to do as well in this problem. So given the piecewise function f of x equals negative 2x plus 1 if x is less than or equal to 1, f of x is equal to 4x minus 2 if x is between 1 and 5, and f of x equals x plus 2 if x is greater than or equal to 5. Let's just take a few values here. I do want to do at least one boundary point, so I am going to do 1, 3, and 10, and I will leave negative 3 and 5 for you. So what I like to do on these is write out my three equations. F of x equals negative 2x plus 1, f of x equals 4x minus 2, and f of x equals x plus 2 to remind myself that these are the three potential outcomes, and then to figure out where each value goes. Now if we look at 1 is our first boundary point between the first two equations. So when you are plugging in a boundary point to a piecewise function, you're really looking for where the equal to sign is in the inequality, which is in the first equation. So I know 1 is going in here. When I look at where 3 is between 1 and 5, so it will go into the second function, and 10 is larger than 5, so it will go into the third. So here, f of 1, in this case, negative 2 times 1 plus 1, which is negative 2 plus 1, which is negative 1. Plugging in 3, it goes into the second equation. F of 3 is 4 times 3 minus 2, which is 12 minus 2, which is 10. And f of 10 is just 10 plus 2, which is 12. I also, as a note, like to keep my videos below 10 minutes because it allows people to have more freedom and flexibility on if they have a spare minute here or there to watch a video. So we will stop the first portion of this video for now, and we will continue going through this set of notes in the next video.